Hey guys, so I wanted to create this video because a month ago I had an issue with Tink where I had taken him on trails, and in the beginning it seemed to be great, he was totally into it and no issues, and I wound up going out with other horses that were actually safe on the trails as well as a buddy system. And as I continued to go on these trails, I noticed that his behavior started to change. It started to just get worse as I was on the trails. And now, looking at it and really sitting back, and then after having conversations with him as to why, he was acting like that, or his behavior and so forth, and putting it all together, I now realize that, we as humans sometimes push our horses more than they should be pushed, and we're always asking them to do more than they're ready to do, in the sense where sometimes we have huge expectations, and I guess the horse maybe doesn't have the knowledge yet, or maybe they have fear from past experiences, or maybe it's just even lack of understanding, or whatever it might be. And I was realizing wow, I want to do this again. I want to get out on trails. And I'm just realizing that the buddy horse was not, I guess it was helpful, but it definitely didn't change anything. It was nice to have a buddy horse, but it didn't change anything. And I now realize that yes, we can do this, but at the same time, I have to be mindful of maybe he needs re-education. And when I mean by re-education, that I have to do this slow. I have to take this slow. I have to work through this process slower with him. And I have to be more patient and stop having large expectations of how I want the ride to go or how I expect it to be. And second of all, maybe, just really taking time to get on the trail and to really focus on, is my horse with me? Is my horse, paying attention to me? Is his body tense? Is he feeling stressed? Are the nostrils flared? How does the body actually feel? So I can fix it, I guess, one step at a time, and maybe break it down into smaller increments, because I, at the first time, had too much of, I guess, expectations. My expectations are way too high. And now I realize that, and it doesn't make me feel bad. It actually makes me feel like I'm a better horse woman for understanding that, because we sometimes, we have our horses and we want them to act a certain way. We want them to behave a certain way, because society says so, and because he was trained, he was this, he was that. There's a bazillion reasons why we want them to act a certain way. And I'm starting to find out that he's teaching me that I have to really slow down and stop having to have it just my way. Maybe it has to be our way, and maybe it's time that I have to look at what he doesn't know, what he needs fixed, or what other, I guess you want to say, learning situations that I can help improve his quality of the trail ride, and I have to stop also being the human where I'm sitting here critiquing myself and critiquing him, I guess, in a sense where I'm oh, well, it should look like this, it should be like this, or whatever the case is, because that's not going to be true. It's not true for everything. And sometimes we put ourselves in these bubbles where everything has to look like this or be like this because somebody else is doing it that way, and and then we're judging ourselves. And I have to stop judging him, and I have to stop judging me, and I have to learn that he's with me for a learning process. And yes, I am the animal communicator, yes, I can check in and so forth, but at the same time I can have conversations with him, I can talk to him about what's going on, but I also have to fix the behavior. And that's what I'm trying to say today. This is what this video is about. It's all about noticing behavior changes, and understand just because your horse is doing something okay one day doesn't mean that they're okay another day. Doesn't mean that the trail ride, or the place you took them to ride, whatever it is, the show, whatever it is. Just because they were fined, they were shut down, doesn't mean that they're okay. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Bye.